It's the Tim Ridley Show.
It is 36 minutes past the hour. This is Tim Ridley on Sirius XM 146, and it is time for Miles Back with ATHS President Marty Glomb. And we have a special guest with us as well. Marty, good morning to you.
Top of the morning, Tim. How y'all doing today?
We're doing great, brother. How about you?
Very well, thank you.
Fantastic. And you have a very wonderful guest with you today, in which we are so happy to have her aboard this morning. And I'll let you have the honor of introducing our special guest this morning.
Well, thanks, Tim. Yeah, sure glad to have one of our staff members, Courtney Cesar, with us this morning. Courtney is primarily the librarian for us there at ATHS, but we had some staffing changes and so forth here in the last little bit, and Courtney has really gone above and beyond and done an excellent job putting the convention together this year and the truck show. And we're just super excited. We're looking at the calendar, 2.5 weeks away or less, maybe something like that. They're going to be here before we know it. I guess I better get my rear end in gear, But Courtney is she just done a wonderful job with it. And Courtney's our most tenured employee there at ATHS. She's been with us for a very long time, done an excellent job. So, Courtney, thanks for being with us this morning. Appreciate you.
And Courtney, good morning to you.
Thanks for having me, Jim.
Yeah, well, it's a pleasure. Well, speaking of which, Marty, the convention and truck show is just around the corner. And so, Courtney, you have a huge role in that, don't you?
I do. These 21 days till the show are going to go fast.
Yes.
As to say, we have taken in a lot of registrations. It looks to be like it's going to be an excellent and large show this year out in York, Pennsylvania. We're really excited for everything. We have quite a lineup of speaker programs and vendors to showcase their products this year. And essentially it's going to be a walk through history, sometimes a roll, depending on if you're on a golf cart, just to look at all the trucks from 1900 to now.
Yeah, Tim, gosh, there'll be more than 100 years worth of trucks there. If that's not history, I don't know what is, right?
That definitely is history right there, more than 100 years. And I was mentioning this, I believe it was on yesterday during my show, the topic that we had, but I mentioned about how the owners of those trucks, and they are so happy and enthused to share, what they've done to the truck. Some even have a big notebook of pictures of when they first acquired the truck or bought the truck through the remodeling or the restoration process to what it is now. And then it's not surprising at all to find a member that has the build sheet for the truck. So there's a wealth of knowledge. Definitely, you will not leave the same way that you came.
Oh, that's for darn sure. And, Tim, you're exactly right. I mean, love to meet people, talk with people, share our interests, and gosh, most of those old trucks have a story, and, most owners know exactly what that story is from day one to today, and, man, there's just some really cool stories to be heard and experiences that those people in those trucks have had over the past years. It's really pretty cool.
Yeah, that it is certainly real cool to, and then the enthusiasm that the owners have as well. Now, Courtney, you are the most tenured employee there at the ATHS. So how did you how did it come about? How did you become interested in working with the American Truck Historical Society?
Well, I've been with ATHS since July of 2013. So it's been quite a while now.
Yes.
But at the time of my graduation with my master's, they were looking for a professional librarian, and I was looking for a job. So match made in employment heaven right there. But at the time, I certainly did not love trucks. I had no idea the difference between them when I first started, but that was a sharp learning curve, and I've grown to really love and enjoy the industry and the passion of our members.
Yeah, and speaking of wealth of knowledge, you have gained a wealth of knowledge over the past, 11 years that you've been there, and it's amazing when you step in, you don't know anything about trucking, and then the knowledge that you learn, that you obtain over the years, and of course it gave you an appreciation of trucks. But it's amazing, isn't it? Things that you didn't even think of before you started with the ATHS.
Oh, definitely. If you bought it, a truck brought it is definitely become one of those like key phrases in my mind when I speak to other people. Like, oh, you love that sweater. Well, guess what? I'm betting a truck driver delivered that to your store. Type of thing. Right.
And here it is now. You're in the role of planning and coordinating the conventions, and we're going to take a break. But when we come back, Courtney, a lot of people, when I mentioned that it takes a long time, several months, maybe even a year, a couple of years or so to plan these conventions. So let's talk a little bit about what goes on into planning, and because we all see the finished product. Everything is running smooth, everything is streamlined and well coordinated, as far as getting the trucks in there, getting them registered, getting them washed and staged, to the speakers and so forth. So let's talk a little bit about what goes into this and how long in advance do you actually have to plan this out. Marty is with us. Courtney Cesar is with us. This is Tim Ridley on Sirius XM. Our number is 615-292-6366. Or you can email me with your question at tim@radionemo.com.
The Ultra One loyalty program at TA Petro and TA Express has been simplified. They heard you. You wanted more attainable rewards, so they reduced the number of gears in the program and lowered gallon minimums. So now you can get to 4 times the points, showers, meals, or parking even faster. Get more details at ta-petro.com/Ultra One. ta-petro.com/Ultra One.
Say you're a great driver.
Okay, I'm a great driver.
And pretend I'm a reliable company.
You look pretty reliable to me.
But how do you know if I'm the right company for you?
Well, did you find me at jobsandtrucks.com?
Does that make a difference?
A driver applying for a job or creating a profile at jobsandtrucks.com makes all the difference. No matter their experience, they create a profile for free. Let the companies find them and then choose the one that fits their needs. Jobs and Trucks has let 800,000 drivers take control, set their terms, and hit the road with the company best for them.
So let's pretend you choose me.
If I did, it had been the right choice because I chose Jobs in Trucks.
Jobsandtrucks.com.
Jobs in
Trucks. 2 minutes later.
Jobs in Trucks. The Joshua Chamberlain Society is unlike any other veterans organization. It's truly a family, and I know that firsthand from working with them myself. Their mission is to make wounded veterans and families of deceased veterans feel the support and appreciation of their community for life. Our veterans' injuries are permanent, and so is the JCS support. From monetary assistance like paying utility bills or college funds to helping our heroes find purpose, JCS is a family that surrounds and supports the heroes who have sacrificed so much. Learn more and make your donation at chamberlainsociety.org. That's chamberlainsociety.org.
Marty Glomb is with us, and Courtney Cesar is with us as well from the American Truck Historical Society. And we're going to get into more into the dates and as far as the upcoming truck show with the ATHS, the Convention and Truck Show. This is Tim Ridley on Sirius XM. Well, Courtney, how far in advance do you have to start working on the planning stages of these conventions and truck shows?
We start on planning for the individual events about 3 to 4 years in advance.
Wow.
So, for example, we already know where we're going to be in 2029. So we start working with those sites, getting site maps, working out the best routes for the attendees, specifically on site. What's going to be the most efficient? What's going to be the easiest to turn to get them to park into the showgrounds? So we really delve kind of into the logistics of that to make it as easy for our attendees as possible. And then that's just the first 3 to 4 years. The year leading up to the show is much more detailed, but go on. What would you like to know specific?
So you have to actually, you get the lay of the land, you recon the area pretty much, and you're figuring out what's the easiest route for the trucks to get in there and get staged. So I'm just imagining, Courtney, that this is pretty much a 10-hour day job. Just doing that 5-6 days a week, just that in itself. And that's not even coming up to a year before and then weeks, months and weeks before.
I have a wonderful and very supportive team of experts in our convention and executive board who really will review the details. And sometimes we even send out like our local members and go, test this for me. And they'll come back and go, no, that's too tight. It's not going to work. So.
And looking from afar, I know a lot of, including myself, being a former truck driver for many years, didn't even think about that part as far as, of course you think about, as a truck driver, you think about places that's easily accessible. Those are more difficult accessible to assess rather, but you don't really think about the fact of what you do in terms of these venues that you choose and correcting, getting the correct route to get in there, which would be a lot easier as opposed to another route. So you think about a convention and truck show, and that's what you're thinking about. You're not thinking about the people on the ground who are trying to get the best route in there for you. So let's move this along. Let's say that we're now a year out. So what are we doing now?
So the year in advance of the convention essentially starts, so 2025 planning, we'll start there for me, is going to start June 15th essentially, which is the week after this current one ends. So from there, we're going to be working on programming our registration, putting together our registration brochures for the magazine and beginning slow promotion of the show, press releases, here's where we're going to be in 2025, starting to get boots on the ground more heavily there, inviting vendors and sponsors to be part of our show, finding speakers, and then planning all the little fiddlier details, I should say, all the small events that we have on site, not just the truck show.
Still a lot of work. And then of course, weeks before, just like now we're down to the, to the final 2 weeks pretty much. And, does it get a little, congestion in your minds, and I say minds because you have a whole team. Does it get a little chaotic? I guess I should ask that way when it gets this close to the convention.
A little bit, yes. If anybody could see my desk right now, they'd think I was in a warehouse full of boxes with the amount of packing I'm doing. But being organized, and like I said, we have a very supportive team on the convention committee and exec, and a very supportive staff. We all work together to get this done. So mostly the last month leading up to the show is just mostly confirmations, confirming our tour numbers, confirming our food counts, sending out registration packets to those that requested it be mailed to them instead of picking up on site. So once we get to that last month, it's really supposed to be smooth sailing and packing. So, and that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, packing.
It's for sure all hands on deck, Tim. Gosh, they're just working their tails off there. But it all is going pretty. It's organized chaos, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's a lot of fun too. It can be chaotic, but at the same time, looking at the end result and seeing the smiles on the faces of the attendees and the people who are there is rewarding. And then the banquet, as the culminate with the banquet, that's always touching. It's always great and touching with the people that are receiving the awards and knowing their backgrounds and so forth.
Yes.
It truly is, Tim. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Courtney, if you'd like.
I would say no. Go ahead, Marty. I was saying no. Go ahead.
So many of those people have worked their entire life, and for an organization, for their family, their friends, and everybody in the country that's a member, to take just a couple of minutes and honor them and pay respect to them for the job that they've done their entire life. I mean, it's pretty humbling, Tim, and the emotion that some of those folks share or show, is remarkable.
Absolutely.
Does make you feel good,
Well, Courtney, I have an email for you, and he wants to know. How do you choose the location from year to year?
So from year to year, we look specifically at what sites will actually hold 1,000 trucks and trailers. That's like number one for our reasoning is, can our show fit here? And then depending on where it is, so for example, in 2027, because that's when we're getting bids right now for, is a West Coast show. So our organization divides our shows up into three coasts, even though the Midwest is the Midwest. And so we cycle around to a different home each year. So we look and go, where does our convention want to be held? So we take recommendations, and then I go get bids from the CVBs in the area. And then as a group, they vote on that in October, usually where we will be.
Well, I'm still amazed at how far in advance, how many years in advance this is all planned out. I can get one more email in, and he has this to Marty, but either of you can answer this. He wants to know if you have plans to come to the South, any of the southern states, in the near future.
Well, Tim, we talk about it a lot. We'd really like to. A couple of things not in our favor that time of year in the South. One is the weather, and two is also the weather. It's hot, First week of June around here, it can easily be 100 degrees, and we all know what the weather's been doing the last couple of years and all the violent storms and stuff we've had. And boy, knock on wood, we've just been super lucky that none of those have really played a big part in our convention. It seems like it always rains one day, right? And a little cooler than you'd like it to be or something like that, maybe. But we're also thinking about some regional sort of events. So maybe something in the fall in the South, where the weather is more suitable. Might see that in the not too distant future.
All right.
Hope that answers your question.
Yes, it did. Now I have a question. Well, I know the answer to the question, but I'm going to ask the question just in case somebody wants to know. If they want to become a member, we generally, I'll always give the website out anyway, but when they come to the show, there will be a booth if someone would like to join up with the American Truck Historical Society, correct?
Absolutely correct. Go ahead.
All right.
I would say absolutely yes. The membership booth is going to be right inside the arena with all of the other exhibitors, kind of front and center, that you can join up at truck registration or the spectator booth. Like, you're not limited to just one area. If you walk in and go, oh my God, this is just so amazing, I have to join now, you can join in any of them.
And we hope that's what they all do.
That's right. Very well said. I like the way you put that. And I do have a question. I always look forward to seeing this guy, and Marty, you know, I can't ever remember his name, but the one with all of the old patches, the old trucking patches that drivers used to wear on their uniform, the shirt. Is he going to be there?
Dalebridge?
Yeah, Dalebridge, right?
Yes,
correct.
He will be there.
All right, great. I always look forward to seeing him and looking at all those patches. It brings back memories of yesteryear, seeing the patches that drivers so proudly displayed on their chest or on their sleeve, the sleeve of the uniform. So that was always, and has been always a must see for me. I mean, although I've visited his booth every single year that I would attend the convention and truck show, but it was always like it was my first time seeing these patches all over again.
Yeah, it's way cool. And man, Dale's got a heck of a collection there. I got no idea how many he has. In the thousands, yeah. I'm sure, right?
And it grows every year.
Yeah, it does, Courtney. It does. I got to mention real quick, Tim, before we run out of time, our volunteers. We absolutely could not do this without volunteers from chapters, our general membership, and people that aren't even members that just want to help. There's just no way we could do it without them, and just forever indebted to those folks that would give 3 or 4 hours of their time one day to help us out. There's still a lot of opportunity to do that, and there'll be a place there at the convention if you want to help that you can sign up and kind of pick your job inside, outside, whatever suits them the best. And we just really, really appreciate those folks.
Yes, absolutely. They really, they're really outstanding. And speaking of outstanding, they put in some long hours. And of course, again, this is all volunteer.
It is 100%.
Were you about to say something, Courtney?
Nope.
Okay. All right.
I just agree with Marty. It is a significant and huge team effort.
Absolutely. For more information on the American Truck Historical Society, you can go to ATHS.org. Marty, Courtney, thank you so much. We appreciate you, and thank you for all you do.
Thank you, Tim. It certainly goes both ways. We're looking forward to getting together here soon. Courtney, thank you so much for all you do, and everybody on the staff there, Darren, Marina, Brandy, Brad, and John. Just doing a fantastic job, man. Thanks.
All right. You guys have a great day. And we appreciate each and every one of you as well, and thank you so much for stopping by the fellowship meeting this morning. Continue to spread those smiles, and we ask that you continue just being you. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning at 0400 Central on the Tim Ridley Show on Sirius XM 146. Be safe and enjoy the rest of your day.